Following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. The chase gets closer and closer, and this series will definitely be a difficult one to get yourself in championship contention. The Tough and Brutal Truck Series has been a very, very contentious campaign here in 2026, but we're going to see what happens as we head to the nation's center in the Kansas state with the Kansas Speedway. We'll have 120 laps here for the Area Truck Series to see who will get to the top as only 2 races remain and get ourselves ready for championship time. The chase is right around the corner. Who's going to make it there? Let's get one step closer here right now. Welcome everybody to PTR TV for today's coverage of the Area Truck Series here at the Kansas Speedway. We're going to be doing this for 120 laps around this 1.5 mile racetrack. It's going to be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the truck, and Hunter Sleppy back with me for the calls. Usually Hunter not able to do the truck races, but here today. And Hunter, I mean, obviously, you've heard the room, you've heard the water cooler talk. The Truck Series has been a tough one here this season. We're in for an interesting race, though. It's going to be night race, low temps, high grip, high intensity.
Yeah, if anything from last night, it's to take with a grain of salt the anticipation that you're expected to receive. We had such a phenomenal race last night, a lot of yellows, a lot of carnage, but overall a fun event. I say that because we don't usually get a lot of yellows at Kansas, and that's kind of what the trends say for the Truck Series, so take that with a grain of salt. I mean, we had 12 yellows last night. The prior 5 races for the Cup Series had 13 yellows, so it's going to get interesting. And looking at the current stats, 19 yellows prior to tonight's race for the Truck Series heading into Kansas, and very similar to last night's stats. There's been a different winner each time. Cameron Hearn, Ryan Hartz, Brad Slaughter, Patrick Moose, and Jake Nichols, last season's winner. So I don't think any of those guys are actually. Brad Slaughter is in the field, but I don't believe anyone else is. So we have a very great possibility of having another not first-time winner, but a new winner for Kansas.
Absolutely the case, and this will be a battle of brawn, of survival, and of a little bit of luck going to be built into this, because as we've seen the Kansas Speedway last night in the Cup Series, it did lead to some good pack racing. And then we did get spread out, had a good pit stop sequence, but then it went back together into 2-3 wide action. I expect that here today. Here's Cole Cabry, 22nd on the board. He was fast in practice up with his brother. That lap not going to be where he wants to be, right in the middle of the Hornet's Nest. Who else do we got on track? Jacob Bell. He was one there last night as Ryan Andrew goes top of the board. Jacob Bell was in contention for a top 5 last night. Ended up having to suffer for a 20th.
Yeah, Jacob Bell was half a lap away from possibly talking to us at the end of the Cup race, but got into Skyley on the last lap, and I mean, just going for it all there, and ultimately finished 20th. So looking to bounce back tonight, and we'll have to go through Brad Slaughter, who's currently leading the way in qualifying with 30 seconds remaining. I almost forgot that he was in the field, but just from looking at the stats alone, but he is the only one that can become a 2-time winner at Kansas, and it happened last night with Jake Nichols. It could very well happen again with Brad Slaughter, currently with the fastest time aboard. see what Alex Chilcutt can do in 60.
Yeah, he's one of the few to finish here, and he's going to be right on the money of getting that qualifying lap in before the end of the timer. And 87 is the pole. He will be nowhere near that, down in the 31st spot. So a lot of work to be done for Alex Chilcutt. To bring up our point standings coming in here, because again, after today's race, well, including today's race, we have this, and then we have Talladega, and then we are in the chase. Garrett Conrath with 388 points. He's up 90 on the cut line and has a 33-point lead in the regular season championship. But then we head down to Ryan Swan holding on by 4, Hayden Swank holding on by 6, Chase Cabry, he was 12th. He got bumped out. He does have some races that he missed, so that cut line going to be intense. And of course, that ever elusive wild card situation, Hunter, that could always shake things up even further.
Yeah, from looking at the wild card sort of thing, it's looking like Alex McCollum, as long as he continues to make his starts, that being tonight at Kansas and tomorrow at Talladega, or tomorrow, next week at Talladega, then he should be good to go. I don't see anyone else that could get a possible wild card spot. Then again, there's still 2 races left, including tonight, so anything can happen in that regard. But the current final chase spot, minus the wild card, it goes to Hayden Swank, and he's only got a 2-point gap to Ryan Swan, and then 6 points back is Chase Cabry, and then 10 points back we find Alex McCollum, who again is in that wild card spot. But it's very tight. Kyle Taub, Dante Courage, Chase Swank, Grant Brown, Josh Parrish, they're all within reach. Garrett Grant as well. They need a solid night tonight in order to have a better chance at making the chase come next week at Talladega.
And of course, Talladega, anything is possible there, as we do have a spin out entering the pits. There's Alex McCollum. You just talked about him. Of course, we want to thank everyone who has tuned in here to PTR TV. If it's your first time, don't make it your last. Hit the like and subscribe button here. And if you're on Twitch, consider hitting the follow button and the subscribe button. $5 a month of your fundage will get you double points custom emotes. Turn those double points into some sweet area merch. And a camera is brought to you by Whiplash SimCam. So again, we're going to be racing into the night as we are right on the cusp. We'll bring up our weather very quickly for you. And you can see the track temp is basically a match of the air temp. We're racing here the exact in-sim race date, 8:12 virtual time. So probably within 20 laps of this thing starting through there, Hunter, we will be under the lights, and that track temp and that grip will exponentially increase. Yeah,
this will be a little bit of an appetizer before the main course, that being Talladega next week. It's going to be somewhat similar style racing. 2 wide, 3 wide, a lot of on-throttle time, very little off-throttle time. Can run any groove on the racetrack. It's going to be a fun one to watch from above. We'll see how rowdy they get. I know the trucks have been quite chaotic, to say the least, this season, but you never know.
You never know, indeed. We are having some awkward situations regarding people and their connection, of course, to our race server here. There's not really a real-life equivalent to say you've dropped your connection, but about 5 people have dropped due to internet issues. I think that's why we're running this warm-up all the way through to allow anybody who had their issues to hopefully rejoin and make today's race. Again, it's another point. As I look at our race details here, again, Milwaukee last week, we ran overtime there. We ran overtime at Indy, at Michigan, at Las Vegas, at Homestead, at Daytona. We've basically, Hunter, went into overtime, I think, for about 75% of this schedule. So we're hoping that, again, we don't want to just air the negativity in the air, although it is felt by many, but we're just hoping this is the race that, you know, we can just have a good, solid strategy, good, clean battles in a good run to the checkers.
Yeah, I'm looking through. We've had a handful of races where they finish under scheduled distance and not overtime. Sonoma, which that's a road course, so kind of really can't say that. But the 2 ovals, Rockingham and Dover.
And Dover would be one that you wouldn't expect as difficult as that racetrack is right here. 30 seconds left here in the session, and we'll get situated for our Central Mobile Homes starting lineup. Of course, if you're looking for a small or large home, new shed, or Triple Crown trailer, look no further than Central Mobile Homes, serving Florida customers for 30 years with a plethora of different floor plan, shed designs, and Triple Crown trailers. You can head to LaBelle, Okeechobee, Clewiston, and Sebring, or centralmobilehomesinc.com for more information regarding that. But we are going to head down and meet you on the grid and let everybody know where your favorite driver is starting in just a matter of minutes. 120 laps here around the Kansas Speedway for the Truck Series, and let's figure out where they are starting. Every time I start talking, Hunter, the timer resets, so I kept having to stall. And finally, with no further ado, our starting lineup. Have you started on us for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Brad Slaughter winning the pole today at Kansas. He's going to lead off with Ryan Andrew to his outside. And then the next row from Vatican City, JT Poole. And alongside him, it's Chase Cabry in the 41. And fifth, we'll find the 55 of Josh Parrish. And alongside him, it's Trevor Edwards in the 32 and P6. P7, it's Jalen Handcamp in the 67 car, and Kyle Taub in the 56 next to him in the 8th spot. Garrett Grant going to roll off 9th in his number 5 truck, and Carson Burrows rolls off 10th in his number 12 truck.
And then we find Zach Carr in 11th. Garrett Conrath going to be in 12th-hour points leader. And then we'll head back another row. We'll find the likes of Jeremy Miller, who is 2nd in points, with Jacob Harberts 3rd in points in the 14th spot. Danny Ware in 15th. The Boss Man trying to get a better run than last night offered him. He's going to be in 16th. 17th is Chase Swank and Chris Seidenfaden. In 18th, rounding out the top 20, we have Hayden Swank and Joseph Swan.
And then in the next row, we'll find his brother Ryan Swan in the number 20 and 21st. 22nd will be Grant Brown in the 14 car. 23rd, it's Forrest Smith in the number 15, and alongside him, Dante Curtis in the 03, going to be 24th. 25th, we'll find Cole Cabry in the 54 truck, and next to him, it's Jeff Wilson in 85 in 26. 27th is Alex McCollum in the number 1, and Ryan Nowicki in the 74 in 28th. 29th, we find Zachary Nerney in the 66 truck, and Ben Pierce in the 65 truck next to him, starting 30th. And have a few more guys. Alex Chilcutt in the 31st position. Bryce Senesac in the 32nd position, looking to have a better run than last night. Cody Dempster, 33rd. Brian Knoll, 34th. Now, Logan Hartman from Pottstown, not too far from me, 35th for tonight's event. Under 20 laps, 35 trucks, only one can win, and could that one be the Rivertown Toyota Tundra of Brad Slaughter?
Well, we'll see if that is indeed the case. Here, our EOL list again, long enough that I could not fit it onto a graphic without going back into the design board. Knoll, Smith, Jeremy Brown, Miller, Parrish, Chilcutt, Handcamp, Swank, and Swank. EOLs, then we have Austin Teal, Garrett Grant, Joseph Swan, Beckner, Chase Cabry, Corey Bodie, Logan Hartman, and Ryan Andrew with the drive-through. Now, not all of them are here, but if they are here, they will be heeding to those penalties. It's a lot of drive-through penalties there, Hunter, and I do worry about those because, A, you don't want to lose a lap, but B, we saw last night a few drivers getting penalties heading into pit lane.
Yeah, that's going to be a main issue, especially with some of these guys having to serve it under green flag conditions. So the drive-throughs will be something to keep an eye out for, and we're already seeing the guys that are dropping to the end of the longest line, and that's really going to shake some things up because we're looking at the point standings right now. I mean, talk about Hayden Swank. He's one of those that has to go to the end of the longest line. He'll be at a disadvantage for the beginning of this race, and he's 11th in the chase standings currently. Looking at Alex Chilcutt in the 60, I know that he's been having a solid season. He's 4th in the standings. That might put him in a pickle. Looking through at some others that are here, Chase Cabry, not Cole Cabry, but Chase Cabry, he's going to be having to serve the drive-through, and he is on the outside looking in, not too far back from that final chase spot. So going to be putting some guys in some rough situations to begin this one.
Absolutely, but if the trends, not the year-to-year trends, but if the race-to-race trends continue, they should have ample time to be able to get back into the swing of things. Our race details, again, same as always. Full fuel load, 4 sets of Goodyears, no backup car/truck, fixed setups, and those ever elusive green-white checkers. We already went over our weather. It's only in the mid-80s. It will go down further as those lights will turn on probably within about 5 to 10 minutes, and within probably lap 25 we will be under the majority of darkness. But 2 races to go, Kansas and Talladega, and we'll set ourselves a chase lineup for our area truck series race to the championship. But we got to do 120 laps here. Very important to get a good run, because you don't want to depend on Talladega next week. Who will come to the top and who will take advantage of the intermediate? Let's find out. Green flag in the air, and we're already scattering. And are we wrecking? We are.
Well, that did not take long at all, and I figured that'd be an issue, because before they even got to the box, or just getting up to the box, they were already checking up, and then once the green flag flew, everybody just kind of scattered. So we'll have to take a look at it and see exactly where that happened and how it involved the 74 spinning.
And Ryan Nowicki here. Oh, the stack up was up in the realm of the 77 of Jacob Bell, but by the time it got to Nowicki, that's where the issues lied. So we'll see what happened in the realm of Jacob Bell. See, there's Conrath, there's Carson Burrows. Oh, no, it started all the way at the top. It started with a 32 of Trevor Edwards right on the front row. Or was it the 56? I think the 56 timed it a little early, and that wasn't when the 32 or Slaughter was planning to go. And that's what led us to the carnage there in the back of the field. Nowicki and Jeff Wilson really getting the worst of it.
Yeah, so an accordion effect on the outside lane puts us under yellow, and I think that actually gave the lead to the 32 and not the 81. So Brad Slaughter will not lead the first laps, at least not now. Still over 100 laps left for him to lead at least one, probably most, if not all. Well, it can't be all, but hopefully for him it's most. But Trevor Edwards was just in front when the yellow happened, so he's currently scored as the leader. Slaughter down to second. JT Poole remains in third, but those guys on the bottom that did not get caught up in the accordion effect, they are the big winners so far. Zach Carr, he's up 7 spots. He's in 4th. Kyle Taubes in the top 5 in 5th. Jeremy Miller, mentioned him, 2nd in points, but he's up 7 spots from that. Danny Ware up 8. Carson Burrows, Garrett Conrath, and Ryan Swan. Swan's actually up 11. Cole Carey's up 13, and Alex McCollum's up 14, and Cody Dempster is actually up 16. The lower I go on this list, the higher the the passes have been made so far.
Yeah, between the crazy restart and then the amount of EOLs, if you didn't have a penalty, such as a Cole Cabry, brother Chase has a penalty that he has to heed to, but Chase didn't, as far as my memory suits. And was able to jump the gun on the starting lineup. You can see a myriad of black flags on the scoring pylon right now of those drivers who have their drive-through that they were not able to heed to. So I think, if memory serves, and I don't know if the simulator still allows this, I think it does. It's kind of a cheeky little hack where when you're starting in the back of the field, once the green flag officially flies, I think you can pull into the pits the same lap and heed your penalty, which will cost you less time than doing it when you're at full speed. So if that little life hack is still in play, that could be something that Andrew, Grant, Hartman, Cabry, and Swan take heed to, take advantage of. But regardless, I hesitate to say that was the initial start, because we didn't actually get started. So this is basically the initial start, round 2.
Yeah, roles reverse though. Trevor Edwards will be the leader. He'll be on the bottom. Brad Slaughter, unfortunate that he lost the lead from that set of circumstances. He'll be on the outside lane now. JT Poole, again, the only one inside the top 10 that has not moved from the starting spot so far, but the pace truck is in. Now we're going to try and dial this up one more time. This time, Trevor Edwards leading the field back to green flag racing on the bottom. A bit more of a checkup, but it's A-OK, and they're off rolling into turn one.
Everybody remaining on the track. So my little clever, cheeky penalty life hack evidently does not work anymore. So those drivers will have 3 laps to take heed to those penalties. But Trevor Edwards getting the whole shot and trying to break the draft, which is going to be very, very strong here at Kansas, as this is going to be very much close to a full throttle racetrack, especially as that track temp goes down. And look at them, Cole Cabrey ripping the top 3 wide to the outside of Carson Burrows, all the way down on the flat there on the apron is Kyle Taub. As, again, nobody is afraid of grip here today, Hunter. If the truck can go there, these drivers are putting it there.
Yeah, especially when the night time's coming, it's going to provide more grip for these trucks as they handle it through the turns, as we got a few guys coming down for their drive-throughs.
And the lights just turned on here as we take lap number 7. Still waiting, I believe, for Chase Cabrey to come into the pits. And there he goes, and hopefully not getting a penalty and adding salt into that wound there. But now they're blending on out, those drivers, so they will lose a lap, which I didn't think they would, but evidently that is the case starting in the back. And you don't have as much wiggle room there, so already 1 lap down. We'll have a race for the free pass, but blending to the outside here are the leaders, Slaughter in tow, as well as Zach Carr, and then JT Poole and Jeremy Middler battling for 4th.
Yeah, Garrett Grant, Joseph Swan, and Logan Hartman now. They're all a lap down, as well as Jeff Wilson, so they're all going to have to be fighting for that lucky dog position. As you see the 30th, Jeremy Miller, he's gone past JT Poole. He's looking to get around the Zach Carr for the 3rd position. Actually, that might be a lap car that he's trying to get around. I could be wrong in there, but that's the thing about these trucks coming in. And yeah, there was Garrett Grant over there on the 5. Really going to provide some sort of entertainment here, because we didn't expect the trucks to go a lap down this early in the race, especially after serving their penalty. But it'll be a thorn in the side for some, but Trevor Edwards trying to drive away from it all.
Trying to drive away, but it's going to be hard to get out of that draft range here as we go back a little further. There's Ryan Swan in the Rick's Hot Sauce truck, I should say. I always try to do the Rick's Hot Sauce ad read, but unfortunately that truck has not been in good shape, so hopefully by the time that comes, Ryan Swan still having a good race. He has Jacob Harberts behind him, 3rd in points, and he is just ripping the outside there. Makes you wonder if Swan is struggling for grip or struggling with the confidence, or if Harberts is just that quick right now. He just drove straight around the outside of the 20.
Yeah, and he's got Cody Dempster trying to follow suit on the outside as well. Some guys tend to hold it on the bottom. Others try to get more comfortable running on the top. And looks like that 20 struggling for grip at the time being. But that 54 truck of Cole Cabrey, he is sticking to that bottom. Him and Garrett Conrath are door-to-door. Conrath looking to make it 3 in a row. He's won the last 2 races here, so trying to do the unthinkable and go 3 out of his last 3 from Kansas, as he's looking to get around the 54 there. And behind, they're starting to get a little more door-to-door. McCollum on the bottom, Tom on the outside, and then there's Harberts and Cody Dempster running through.
And remember last night, Hunter, we had 2 different examples of drivers going all the way down to the flat there in the tri-oval as something went on there. Taub into the wall. Looks like everybody will sort through, but we had 2 examples last night of drivers going all the way down to the grass in the tri-oval, losing control of the vehicle. It'll be interesting to see if the trucks fall suit to the same symptom.
Yeah, it looked like McCollum had a moment there and kind of got up and into the 56 of Taub, and unfortunate that he got some damage in that into the wall, but keeping the truck going. He's still inside the top 15, trying to hold on to everything that he can right now, but trying to rally the troops on that outside lane.
Absolutely, and up front, I will say, much to my surprise, Trevor Edwards has been able to pull away. Now, I guess if you could consider this a negative, you could consider this a positive. That's Ryan Andrew in the number 88, just in front He's close enough, if anything, to give Trevor Edwards a little bit of draft, but he's far enough away that I don't think he's really planting too much dirty air on Trevor Edwards. And of course, here at Kansas, you can just change lanes to evade the dirty air. So that draft of sorts actually is facilitating Edwards pulling away to almost 1 second over Brad Slaughter.
Yeah, Brad's got nothing right now, just cannot get some draft that he needs, and Trevor being behind that lap truck, it's giving him draft, and Jeremy Miller, Zach Carr, they're passing each other, but they're close enough to where they can kind of paint them together if you get a feel for that. A little bit of a preview somewhat for Talladega, but third and fourth on the track, those guys are a little further back here. Cole Cabrey must have had a moment. He's dropped a few positions since we last saw him. He's down to 9th, trying to hold off Ted from Cody Dempster. They're going to be door-to-door off turn number 4. So we're on the side of the Dempster machine, and you just see how many trucks there are that can just go anywhere that they want to in the corner, and even on the front stretch, as they're getting even more dicey up there with McCollum, and that's Garrett Grant, the lap truck, getting close to touching him through the corners.
I will say I am seeing something that I was not expecting to see, and that is a little bit more single file, especially here at night. Now, of course, we do have fixed setups, and the setups are built, a little bit different for each track. And I'm just wondering if maybe this setup is a little tight, maybe it's a little loose, but it's seeming to spread out, maybe put a little bit more handling into play here. We already are down, and again, this is much to my surprise. We're already down 1.4 seconds of fall off. I was not expecting that whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't really know what I was expecting heading into tonight's race, because the trends say something else, and Monday night was just the complete opposite of that, so didn't really know what to expect, but these guys are keeping it pretty good so far, other than that initial start fiasco, but they're making the most of their time right now as the Handcamp and Chilcutt door-to-door for 13th off turn 2. Handcamp's going to get the run away from Chilcutt, and Parrish going to try and push him closer towards turn 3 and trying to get around him. The number 56 of Taub, he's continuing to fall back, but he's still trying to find his way on the bottom.
We go a little further up, you find Garrett Conrath. He's battling with JT Poole. That's to get into that 5th position here and see the different lines at play. I think that's Slaughter up ripping the fence right now. Of course, Kansas is a progressively banked track, so you will find more banking at the top, but these trucks, just due to the fact that they are slower, they do have more drag. Sometimes the geometrically faster distance is better than going the momentum way on some tracks. So especially at night, sometimes you will find drivers just running lower because there's enough grip that the bottom kind of becomes OP. We'll see if that does come into play here, but 1 second gap. I am seeing Jacob Harberts have a little bit of connectivity issues. Hopefully that does not continue, but again, we are clean and green, and we still have those 5-6 drivers 1 lap down who had their penalties. And wouldn't that just be the luck of things when you have the end-of-line penalty and you think in the back of your head there, Hunter, all right, there's always cautions, I'll get back on the lead lap. And wouldn't that just be their luck that this would be the race that runs a long ways green?
Yeah, it just so happened that the one night where you would expect yellows, you don't really get any, and you're just trying to bide your time and try to get a feel for your truck without having to continue to think about when that yellow is coming and when you're going to be able to get back on the lead lap and actually contend in this race. So 100 laps left in this one, though, so still plenty of time for some tomfoolery to occur, but those guys like Garrett Grant just trying to keep on keeping on, and he will be the free pass truck if all goes well, and that is if Brian Andrew doesn't get a lap down before him. Joseph Swan, Chase Cabrey, Logan Hartman, Jeff Wilson, they are all a lap down. Ryan Nowicki is 2 laps down, but all 35 trucks still out on the racetrack and being led by Trevor Edwards, who his lead has been closed significantly from Jeremy Miller. He's gone around Slaughter, and they were over 1.2 seconds back. It's now cut down in half, just about to 6 car lengths of a second between the 30 and the 32.
Now, last time by, Jeremy Miller was faster by 0.2 of a second, and even going to third where they're battling actively with Slaughter and that's Zach Carr. They were both faster than Trevor Edwards, so maybe he shot out of the cannon too quickly, but I really am hoping that this race does continue on with the green flag flare, because again, with the fall off we have a radical level of fall off here today, pushing 2 seconds. That doesn't just open up the basic over, pit 2 laps earlier than the guy in front of you. That opens up potentially a completely different strategy game of maybe trying to split the race, maybe doing a 2-stopper. Because when you have this much tire fall off, Hunter, the time gain, time loss is so large, it opens up that extra pit strategy game if we can get that situation to come to play.
Yeah, that is a good thing to keep an eye out and a good thing to point out for strategy-wise. Not sure too many guys had this in mind where tire wear was going to be a major concern. Green flag runs were going to be something to keep an eye out for. This has been about 20 laps now that these guys have been racing on this set of tires under green flag conditions, and we see Zach Carr, he took over third from Brad Slaughter. JT Poole now looking to take over fourth on the inside of that number 81 truck, and then a little further back, Conrath around Jacob Harbert, 6th and 7th on the racetrack. They're all single file, and some are snaking the draft away down on the front stretch on the apron, and Jeremy Miller on board with him. He's found a rhythm to get up to Trevor Edwards, and he's going to have a nice run here through turn 2 and try to set him up for 3 and 4.
Now that gap is, well, you don't even need to look at the number. Just look at the distance. He let from 3 truck lengths back to side by side through 3 and 4. He got the momentum off the top in 1 and 2, and then he clears them using the bottom in 3 and 4. That's utilizing the Kansas Speedway like a boss. New leader, number 30.
The 32 of Edwards going to give him a push going into turn 1, and he's got Zach Carr beneath him. They almost had a moment. He clipped the apron, and now he's going to barely scrape JT Poole's truck, but evasive maneuver there from Zach Carr to avoid any further calamity with Trevor Edwards and Jeremy Miller. He'll fight another battle down in 4th, and JT Poole is up to 3rd and looking to get around Trevor Edwards and try to get alongside of him for 2nd, but to no avail.
And I'll tell you, Trevor Edwards hasn't just fallen off a cliff. He is staying in the tow. And that does happen. Sometimes these setups are just inherently loose. So maybe having a little bit of aero push on the nose will actually tighten that vehicle up to be snug enough where you can feel more comfortable. There have been many races where the leader can't pull away just because the vehicle is just too loose. But hell, there you go, 27. Driving in like a boss as JT Poole goes Bob's your uncle, passes both of them, and may even have the momentum to go for the lead. As look at this, all of a sudden we went from about a 3-truck breakaway to now having basically 11 or 12 trucks within a second and a half.
Yeah, you can fit the first 8 trucks under a blanket all within a second of each other, and that being led by Miller. But Poole now going to be under battle from Zach Carr, getting close to him, and side by side behind them, Harberts and Edwards door to door. A great shot of the battle is going through 3 and 4 as Miller continues to run the bottom. Carr going to pull up top on Poole, steered clear for 2nd, but JT's going to try and follow him on the apron here. Try to get alongside of his quarter panel going into turn 1, and he'll do just that as Carr tries to send it in. Harberts is in 4th, trying to get close enough to Poole. And from the vantage point of Poole, you can see Carr, he's underneath the 30 of Miller, and they'll be door to door going into 3.
And we saw the Kansas diver work before, going to the bottom of the track. Jeremy's going to leave all the space open. Will Carr clear? Answer is no. Momentum off the top with a little bit of a push. No, the push from the draft. The 82 is going to go to the bottom of the racetrack, but again, Jeremy's going to have the momentum off of that upper lane, and I think JT almost found a gap 3 wide, but now Jacob Harbert's working his way through. Harbert's has had to claw from the 14th spot up to 4th and looking for more.
Yeah, Harbert's has been a well of season for him. He's got to win his name. He's 3rd in the point standings, trying to chase after Jeremy Miller. 2nd in the point standings and 2nd on the racetrack now, but JT Poole being I wouldn't say a thorn in the side, but he's definitely playing a factor into this one. Not really sure where he's at on the point side of things, but he did not start the season so I don't think he's eligible for the championship, but he's just looking for solid runs, and he's giving them a run for their money up there. And hello, is that Alex McCollum? It is, to the inside of Trevor Edwards. He went all the way on the apron just about.
Yeah, he's running that Kansas chicane here, even though we're not on the road course. But here we go up front. Zach Carr has taken the lead, and now they're 3 wide per second. Jeremy Miller to the top, Poole in the middle, who's now cleared, and that is Jacob Harberts to the bottom. And what we're seeing is that tired Deg here as the lights are becoming more prominent in the Kansas sky tonight as this race goes off into the distance. We're seeing that tired Deg, who saved it, now has the ability to slice and dice and run those faster lap times. We're seeing Trevor Edwards drop back to 7th, and if not further than that, he's now in the clutches of Cole Cabrey. So saving the tires. Goodyear brought a soft tire today. It does not last very long, but that's what we love to see. We love to see the comers and goers.
Yeah, so Carr's going to continue for pursuing the battles to continue behind him, because he's driven out almost half a second now since second, third, and fourth started duking it out, and they're going to continue to duke it out into 3. Harbert's going to be low, Poole going to be on the outside, trying to side draft off each other off of turn 4, and that gap just continues to go up to Zach Carr's liking. 6 truck lengths now, going to be 7 by the time they get into turn 1. Poole and Harberts continue to do battle for second. Meanwhile, behind them, battle for fourth continues to heat up. Jeremy Miller now under fire from Garrett Conrath, again trying to make it 3 in a row for the 49 truck, and he's going to park the bus off of 2 in front of Jeremy Miller, and here comes Alex McCollum joining the battle.
And Jeremy Miller, typically not one to appreciate that kind of maneuver, but he's going to cut him a break this early in the race, as no need to do that kind of stuff early, but maybe if that move happened with 10 to go, we might be writing a different chapter in the book here. But that's going to be Alex McCollum clearing 4 now. Miller down to 6. Trevor Edwards trying to hang on to the top 10 right now. Brad Slaughter, somebody else who is up front, he is now outside of the top 10, battling with Cody Dempster, as I think Conrath may be trying to make a move. He's looking to the outside of Alex McCollum here off of 4. And look at that momentum he has wound up, pulling in the draft. Where is he going to go? High, low? He's going to pull back in the line.
Yeah, Miller's starting to slip just a little bit. He's outside the top 5 now, down into the 6th position, as McCollum has moved his way inside of the top 5 and 4th. Conrath in 5th. So we see all the cars and trucks, actually not cars, trucks, coming through 3 and 4 now, as Zach Carr has driven out to 7 truck lengths, about to be 8 over Jacob Harberts. JT Poole is steering clear of 3rd for the time being, but McCollum and Conrath are still close nose to tail racing. Then you find Jeremy Miller back there holding his own in 6th, Cole Cabrey in 7th, Trevor Edwards, Danny Ware, and Cody Dempster in the top 10.
And we are getting to that point where, again, drivers, I say we've said it a few times in different races, and it never comes to fruition. You have to read the race when it comes to strategy. There are times where right now I think you could do this race on 1 stop, but I think you could also do it on 2 with the 2-second plus fall off that we have. But you have to read the room and make a guess. Is this going to be a green flag race? Do you risk the strategy call to put those fresh tires on? That's a tough call. The Truck Series tells you not to do that, but this race may be telling you to make that decision. I guess that 60 to ish laps would probably be a fuel run at this point. We are closing in on it, as Carson Burrows will dive underneath and clear Ryan Swan. You can head to rickshotsauce.com for some of those amazing flavors. Lokahatchee Classic, Palm Beach Pineapple, South Beach Heat, rickshotsauce.com. But yeah, we are getting to that point where those decisions have to be made, and Brad Slaughter is making it now.
I'll say he made the first one. There was a truck coming down pit road. It was him, the Rivertown Toyota. He's yet to lead a lap, but he's the first to come down and make a pit stop, and this might open the door for some more trucks to come down and possibly follow suit in the tire tracks of the 81 of Slaughter, as the field continues to roll by. That lead now over a second for Zach Carr. JT Poole still keeping him within reach. Same with McCollum, and a few more drivers coming down pit road. Kyle Taub of the 56. We know he's hit the wall a couple of times tonight. He's made his way down pit road, as well as the 66 of Zachary Nerney.
Yeah, because if you're going to go for that two-stop race, you basically have to pit now within a 2 or 3 lap window, because the longer you go, you're basically cementing yourself into that one-stop race. And I'm not going to try to do math to see who should be gaining what, but we do know is that you're losing 2 laps. What we do know is you're losing 2 seconds a lap as of right now. We can see about a 33 flat for most of these drivers. Their best lap was right around a 33.1. So which strategy will come to play, or will it be interrupted? Because remember last night, we thought Connor Horn had the race won, or in a really good position with his strategy. Well, the caution came out, and then, of course, he sped on pit road, so he kind of shot himself in the foot. But would the strategy have worked? We never know, because, again, the risk of that caution is always imminent.
Yeah, very true. And 27 continuing to log laps here at a pretty good pace. Looking at the fall off here for these guys from their best laps, we're seeing just about 2 seconds for Carr and Harberts, as well as JT Poole. Some guys, it might be even more than 2 seconds. It's about 2.1 for Garrett Conrath compared to his fastest lap of a 30.9. His most recent lap was a 33.0. And then about the same with Cole Cabrey. Jeremy Miller as well. Jeremy Miller 2.1, almost 2.2 seconds slower from his fastest lap. So tire wear definitely at that point where you're going to want to be looking at making a pit stop soon and trying to get a one-up on your competition through different pit cycles.
And I'll tell you there, Hunter, one of the best opportunities for a caution to arise is going to be through this pit stop cycle. So it looks like Brian Noel can head to the pits, as well as Trevor Edwards, who was, again, led some laps and then started to fall back. And the reason I think now is the easiest time for a caution is because the comers and goers, the Superman effect, we're going to have drivers going through the field 2.5 seconds faster than those who have yet to pit. And that creates some really risky scenarios, especially when you are navigating through some of the packs that we have. Here's that car.
Well, Jeremy Miller, JT Poole, they're all coming down pit road. The leaders are coming through, and Cole Cabrey as well. So all these guys are coming down, making pit stops, and don't want to screw up here. Don't want to lose all your track position from oversliding your pit box or speeding getting in or speeding getting off. So you just want to make sure that you dial everything in and don't make mistakes.
I am a little... they're going to do a two-stopper. I'm a little confused why they waited the couple extra laps, because I'm not an active crew chief. I haven't driven a year on iRacing, more than 10 races in about 5 years. Oh, Carson Burrows getting the black flag in the 12. And we talked about it last night. The updated pit speed mechanics in iRacing, it'll treat you a lot easier. Our first driver to get bit by the police.
Yeah, they made that a point of emphasis in their most recent updates, so puts Carson Burrows in a tough spot. Unfortunate for him. It's going to be another spot for those that are close on points and trying to do their best, putting themselves in a good spot for the chase. Meanwhile, Harberts is still yet to pit. Same with Cody Dempster, Chilcutt, Hayden Swank. Mentioned him. He had a penalty at the beginning of this one. I want to say it was a EOL, and it indeed was an EOL for Hayden Swank, but he was 11th in the standings coming into this one. And coming into pit road now, Jacob Harberts going to get it dialed in and going to sacrifice the lead to Cody Dempster.
Now, even for these drivers, maybe my guess was off. I always kind of interpreted they can go about 60 laps here, but maybe that's not doable. Because even right now, 70 to go, I don't think you're doing that one, and I don't think with the tires you'd want to. So it's still going to be a two-stop race, but we're going to just have massive deltas in when earlier drivers pitted versus these fresher tires here on the long end of the stint. So we'll see how this works out, but that's going to be Dempster in, and this is what I talked about. Just look at everybody having to slalom around that 60 of Chilcutt.
Grant Brown, he actually came in under that yellow, so he might have topped off and got a couple more laps of gas in the tank, so he can go a little bit further than Chilcutt and Handcam. Meanwhile, Haynes, Swank, and Dempster are in the pit road, but this is what you're seeing, the disadvantages of staying out and the advantages of coming in and getting new tires, because you're sitting still as these guys are flying by you, and Chilcutt is going to come down pit road, and Handcam, I believe, will become the leader. No, he's going to come down pit road.
Yep. Oh, whoa, hot dog. Hopefully he didn't speed doing that little maneuver of sorts, but now Grant Brown will lead the race, and you can see these drivers who are working around him with a massive head of steam. His last lap, 33.4. And that would leave himself. Handcamp is already pit. Brad Slaughter will temporarily retake the lead here. Well, retake the lead. He'll take the lead with Zach Carr now second. Zach Carr is, let's pull up the telemetry and see what that distance is. It is about 1.5 seconds to get from Zach Carr to Brad Slaughter. That is the difference of pitting 6 laps sooner for Slaughter. And remember, Slaughter wasn't necessarily in the top 3, top 4. He was a little ways back, and he still got that lead.
Yeah, the pole sitter had an unfortunate hand dealt with him. The beginning of the race had that quick yellow from the checkup on the outside lane, and Grant Brown has actually made his way down the pit road, so Brad is hoping that he can get through. It might not be this time. No, I don't think it will be. But definitely next time, if nothing happens, Slaughter will lead his first laps of the race.
Yes, he will. Getting messages in the back end. Admin, a tear to their eye. We managed to complete a full green flag cycle here in the Truck Series. I can't tell you the last time we did that. We've come close a few times, but it always managed to get interrupted in some capacity. But today we did it all through. Trevor Edwards and Jarby Miller, they're battling for 7th here. As I do want to bring up another one of our partners here. We brought up Rick's Hot Sauce earlier, and let's bring up the Boss's Truck, Blue Tip Pool Builders. They can bring some life to your pool this summer. Now, we are in summer, so if your pool's not already up and going, that may be a problem. But they also can do dynamic lounging areas outside. Get your outdoor kitchen ready for all those entertaining. Closing in on our 4th of July holiday. Head to bluetippools.com.
Yeah, especially with the World Cup now, and they're going to want to host some USA watch parties, and might as well get some Blue Tip Pool Builders to come over and get you a pool going and get your outdoor space a little more lively for those events. And all that for the 250th year of America as JT Pool and McCollum. Garrett Conrath as well, 3rd, 4th, and 5th on the racetrack, having a little battle. They're all chasing down Slaughter, and it's about to be Zach Carr because he's on the bumper of the 81 truck. Slaughter has led his laps, and Carr wants to take over before JT Pool can get to him, but you can see about the first 6 trucks, they're all single file heading into turn 1.
Yeah, this is called 6-lap fresher tires, and there it goes right to the outside. Now, Zach Carr, he has 10-lap old tires as well as JT Pool, so they are on an even ball game right now. Garrett Conrath has 1 lap older tires than those top 2 as he tries to get to the bottom. Super tight 3 wide off turn 4, nearly pancake Slaughter in the process, with McCollum in the most vulnerable position at the top of the track, and it looks like McCollum will clear, but Conrath will have to continue fighting at least for one more set of corners.
Yeah. 5 of those trucks are on the lead lap, that being Jeff Wilson right back there, making that a 6-car group. He is, I believe, still a lap down. He might be 2 laps down. I could be wrong. Yeah, he's actually 2 laps down, but he was a part of that conga line going through the last couple of laps. Conrath still trying to get around Slaughter. He is not giving up in that 81 truck just yet. Meanwhile, Zach Carr is continuing to lead for the time being because JT Poole is on his outside trying to fly around the number 27 truck, and for the time being he will, and he's going to clear him going down the backstretch. So new leader, the 82 of JT Poole, is driving away with it. Here comes Alex McCollum giving a shot to the bumper of Zach Carr.
And one thing that I'm really enjoying, Hunter, is it doesn't seem like there is one clear-cut line that is working, which even at Kansas, it does typically happen. There's times you want to be on the bottom. There's times you want to be in the top. There's times you need the shorter distance. There's times you want to get that extra momentum off of the corner. It's really creating such a dynamic environment where you have to really be on your game, especially if you're trying to play defense.
Yeah, absolutely. It can go one way for a handful of laps, and then it can just flip on in the next handful. And right now, it's going in the way of JT Poole. Don't believe he's won anything in area just yet, but he's been really close, though, throughout his career. He's in a real good spot now as we're approaching the halfway point here at Kansas. Again, only one caution. That happened right at the beginning of the race, a checkup where the 32 of Trevor Edwards was in a really good spot. But the trucks behind him, they did not get going and ended up creating a yellow, and that was our only yellow. He took the lead from Brad Slaughter. And they're 3 wide, about to be 4 wide, coming out of turn 4. Door banging is the 80 of Harbers on the 32 of Edwards. So almost had another yellow there, but other than that, it's been great racing. We've had a green flag cycle of pit stops, and Danny Ware is joining the fray. Don't think we've mentioned him tonight, but he is joining this mix inside the top 10.
Absolutely. He's in the 9th spot. Slaughter on those older tires back to 10. And again, basically all these drivers will have one more pit stop due in the bank here today. It's just going to be a matter of when you take it, because you'll want to be able to take advantage of those tires while you have them, as they are just shredding off here today. As we'll go back to the field and just show some drivers we haven't shown, but now we got to go back to the front, because now Cole Cabry up to 4th, I believe, getting around Conrath, if I'm not mistaken. He does have 1 lap fresher tires, does the 54. Conrath giving a little bump down the straightaway, but another funny little point there, Hunter. We were joking that off-air, admin, that you were going to give us the vibe tonight, and we said it jokingly. I was warning you. You kind of knew what to expect. But if the Hunter vibe works, well, you're going to have to tell the job that they're going to have to give you Tuesday nights off, because we're going to need Saboria.
Well, I will be here next Tuesday for Talladega, so I don't know how good that streak is going to go. I don't know if they'll be able to keep up with Talladega and the chaos that can ensue there, but did a little research. JT Poole has actually won before in the trucks in area. I want to say this was, season 4 at IRP. He dominated. He led 115 laps at 150, but never on a track bigger than a mile. So looking to check one off of the bucket list for him as we look at Alex McCollum. A big run off of 2 to the inside of Zach Carr. Going to try and take the 2nd spot away from him. Send it deep into turn 3. Get closer to JT Poole, who's got a couple of lap trucks just in front of him.
Yep, that is... trying to make out
Jeff
who
Wilson.
that is. Jeff Wilson and that purple truck, who we haven't really seen much of today. Ryan Andrew. He is the last on the lead lap. And right now, Chase Cabry in the 41. He is the free pass recipient. And as we joked earlier, we'll pause that joke because we'll talk about this live battle for the lead as Alex McCollum has managed to clear 27th to first. And that, if JT Poole is all set with it, he's going to go to the bottom and get the lead at the stripe and may be able to clear enough for the crossover. Yes, he will. Will he keep it to the bottom? Will he take the momentum off the top? He'll stay to the bottom, and that'll give McCollum the opportunity and the lane to squeeze in and try it again.
Trying to go up to shut the door, couldn't quite do it. McCollum has breached through and is taken over as the race leader, so Poole going to have to regroup and rally the troops once more, and Zach Carr right behind is going to hold his own in 3rd. Cole Cabry in 4th and Garrett Conrath in 5th. They're kind of close together towards the back of the picture you see. Trying to get that sorted out as They're 4th and 5th on the racetrack, and Harberts finds himself sitting in 6th position. 7th is Jeremy Miller. Danny Ware comfortably in 8th. 9th is Trevor Edwards, and Brad Slaughter holding on to that top 10 spot.
Yes, he is. And we're talking earlier about the point standings and what had changed. Chase Cabre not having the best of runs last week, fell out of the bubble, out of the top 12, and was joking earlier in the broadcast that, you know, those drivers, including Chase, who had the drive-through, Teal, Grant, Swan, Beckner, Cabre, Body, Hartman, and Andrew, those of which who are here, that, you know, you're waiting on the caution. Yeah, it'll happen. You'll get back on the lead lap. You'll be able to get back into the swing of things here. Seidenfaden in the pits at a full rate of speed. I'm not sure what that's about. This is not the Charlotte All-Star Challenge qualifying. But with every lap that goes by, it becomes less and less likely that that caution may come out. Chase may never get back into it, and where he's right on the bubble heading into Dega, he can't afford to have a 28th right now.
Yeah, I feel like him and Garrett Grant, they've been in a pickle, and Garrett's really been in a pickle this entire race because he served his drive-through and he came back out a lap down. Okay, well, just need a yellow to get back on the lead lap, and, well, that hasn't happened. So we're over halfway through the race now, over 60 laps on this green flag run, and it's been phenomenal to say the least. We've had some great pit strategies, great battles on the racetrack, 2 wide, 3 wide, sometimes even 4. And then a multitude of leaders coming through. We've had there's Cody Dempster going around Brad Slaughter, but we've had Brad Slaughter leading. We've had Trevor Edwards leading. We've had Zach Carr, JT Poole, now Alex McCullum. Don't really have a clear favorite of who is going to be the truck to beat, but we have a few trucks, those running inside the top 3 right now that they've been up front, and they're definitely capable of winning. That is, if JT Poole doesn't blink out.
That is obviously a very important statement there. His last time on the stat sheet, I'll just pull it up just for giggles here, as it'll update. Yeah, he did not run a 5-second lap. I don't know. That would be about the speed of one of those jets at the naval base at Coronado when they're up to full speed. Maybe they can lap this place in 5 seconds, but absolutely not here in a Craftsman truck. But we're closing in, and not even closing in. We're at the point now. The window is open to make it to the end. We are 48 to go. Most of these drivers pitted around 40 to 50. So I guess, again, this is just more, this is not just gasting. This is flabbergasting. This is going to be an important pit stop there, Hunter, because when you pit, that controls how much time you gain or lose with all this tire fall off.
Yeah, it seems like the later you stay out, the better it'll be on your next run as far as having a tire advantage. And it seems like we've got some guys that have played their role into that, and it's really helped them out. Looking through at some of these stops right here. McCollum, 26 laps on his tires, 27 for Poole, Carr, Cabre, 28 for Garrett Conrad. So it seems like the longer you stay out, the better it'll be for your run on tires the next time through.
And of course, you'll have some drivers who may have, who may want to audible their strategy, like a Brad Slaughter, who's now back to 11. He may want to audible and hit early, but then again, you saw how that worked the first time. Sometimes you're stuck in the boat, you made your bed, and you just got to stick with what is in front of you here, as Zach Carr, JT Poole going at it, all 1 second behind Alex McCullum, who is now about to endure 3 vehicles of lapular traffic right now. It's going to be Ryan Andrew. That is going to be the 85 of Jeff Wilson, and then who is that ahead? I think that's Forrest Smith. These are the last 3 on the lead lap, last 2 on the lead lap. Jeff Wilson is already a lap down. And Chase Cabre, he is just hoping the caution comes out now, because he does not want the race leader to get to Forrest Smith or Ryan Andrew.
Indeed, as we've kind of got a little battle going on here, the 85, and that is, who is that? 15?
Jeff Wilson and Forrest Smith. Forrest Smith in the 15.
Forrest Smith, all right.
Here it goes. That will be a very short-lived stint on the lead lap. And down to the inside, and Forrest will just wave the proverbial white flag and let him go. And that will now move the Lucky Dog bubble to the 15, but they're still stuck in on each other's heels here from second back to even the 6th spot where the who is that? No, the 5th spot, pardon me. Jacob Harbert's in 5th, but actually not too far back. Garrett Conrath, he's cruising about half a second back in 6th. Then you go back to Jeremy Miller. He is 2 seconds back, and then Danny Ware a couple tenths behind his back bumper. Trevor Edwards, who led about 25 or so laps, he is in 9th. Rounding out the top 10 is Cody Dempster, as we are well spaced out. But we're digging at it here for the 4th spot. Cole Cabry up to the top, trying to find something on Jacob Harberts, but I think at this point in the run, again, we're 2 seconds off the pace. There's just not a lot of grip to maneuver these trucks around.
Yeah, very interesting race to say the least. I guess all it took was me to just sit up in the booth and have this one play out, but Jeremy Miller has come down pit road, and could that spark another strategy cycle? I mean, he only had 32 laps on his tires, so maybe that he hit his quota and he's going to run the next 40 on his set of tires that he's about to put on.
And that would just pull it. I mean, he didn't pit on exactly 1/3, but now he's going to make it so there's exactly 1/3 of the race to the end. And I mean, we saw what Brad Slaughter, I think he managed to hold on to lead for 10 laps once the cycle completed. So you'll see drivers all peeling in. Speaking of Brad Slaughter, there he comes into the pits in that Riverton, however you enunciate it, Toyota. I know Massachusetts has weird names. So is it Rivertown or is it Riverton? Or option C?
Run the options through my head, and him saying it before, I think it's Riverton.
Okay. Makes sense. But here is, look at Jeremy Miller. We talked about the Superman card. There he goes. Just those drivers are not moving in relative speed to that number 30 with that 2 seconds of additional pace. I will say, and I don't know if it's the traffic or not, but Zach Carr did cut into the gap. It was pushing a second. It's now down to about 6/10, but again, the leader is in traffic, not running his ideal lines, trying to get around Jeff Wilson here as we are now taking lap number 82. And if you're enjoying what you see and you want to support Area, you can go to shop.areairacing.com for some high-quality merch at low prices, some new shirts, hats, accessories, Adidas clothing, and more. Easy to shop, quicker to ship, better to wear. Shop.areairacing.com for some of that new 2026 Area swag.
All right, here, really close. That is Poole and Harberts for the podium position. Cole Cabry not too far behind in the 5th spot. He's watching from afar as Harberts will take over that 3rd spot from Poole. And it has really closed down between McCollum and Carr. The gap now at 4 truck lengths. Jacob Bell coming down pit road. He was outside the top 15. But McCollum, 4 truck lengths in front of Zach Carr. It was at 7. It's continuing to get smaller and smaller as Jacob Harberts as well in the number 80 truck back there. Looking to close the gap, and there we find the 71 truck in pit road.
Trevor Edwards, pit road becoming a very busy place. Here's Chilcutt. He was just outside of the top 10, but we're still waiting on the top 10. And again, this is kind of the highest risk situation, is you don't want the caution to come out while you're already in or you have already pitted. But on that same token, Hunter, the longer you stay out, the drivers who did pit early, they're gaining all that time, and you're having less and less laps to be able to make all that ground back up.
Absolutely. I feel like the longer you stay out, though, that will pay out in the long run, and that is if we get a yellow Haven't had a yellow since the very beginning of the race, so it's really been calm so far.
Can we even call it a lap 1 yellow? Because, I mean, we literally barely made it past the start-finish line. There's almost a part of me that wants to say this race went green flag to this point, because I almost don't even count it here. But here's Jacob Harberts. He is the highest of the field to pit from about the top 5, and I'm assuming that's going to quickly stir the rest of the top 5 to head into the pits.
Yeah, that could open the floodgates here as car is really closed in on McCullum. See what these two do here.
Now they will stay out one more lap. JT Poole and Cole Cabry coming in. And if you just think of it, even since Jacob Harberts completed his lap, these 2 or 3 laps that Harberts has been out, that is easily 3-4 seconds potentially that he may have as a lead. But will he have enough to hang on? Somebody, one of those Hendry County trucks in the back of the shot was in the wall. That may have been Garrett Conrath, I do believe.
Running in third at the time, and got some takers, and that being Ox McCollum, so the leader comes down pit road.
And I assume that car is going to follow. Danny Ware is in. So we'll see how this all shakes out. I cannot imagine that Zach Carr is going to stay out any longer. Again, just what he is losing is so drastic here as we now close in on 30 to go. Let's see if he peels it on in there. Oh, no!
Oh, he got hit! He got hit, and that's going to bring out the yellow.
Jeremy Miller going through for a ride. That was not how I expected, or any of us expected, this to work out.
I was just about to say, it looked like that truck back there. I'm not sure if he was aware of what was going on or not, or he got the message, but it was looking really close, and very simply, he was coming down to make his pit stop, and I guess the truck behind, not sure who that was, just didn't get the message, and Jeremy Miller had to mow the grass just to avoid hitting the 27.
Now, that was Josh Parrish, and a regular in the league. So, how much notice? I want to be nice. I really, really want to be nice, Hunter. So I'm going to watch it one more time and just filter my thought. And then, so he did come down from the middle lane. I know Brad, of course, who's with me for a lot of these. He's in insurance, and he always says there's the last clear doctrine, the last clear chance to evade an incident. I guess the $1 million question was, did Parrish pick up the speed difference? Did he pick up the fact that Zach was pulling into the pits? But
that's the $1 million question, because I'm not sure if he was aware of what was going on, or if the 27 was coming down, if the 27 made it aware that he was coming down the pit road or not. But regardless, this is really shaking things up inside the last 30 laps of this one.
And how much damage does Zach have? I mean, he got pile driven in the rear. Now we also have to consider who is back on the lead lap. And we are getting from admin that there was no call out on driver comms letting them know that that driver was pitting. So because of that, they are going to assign to the 27. Which again, in iRacing, you do have voice chat, voice comms, and typically you keep a lot of things secret, but when you do have drivers within a certain proximity of you, it is a highly recommended decision to put the virtual hand out the window and let the driver behind you know that you're coming in. But I can understand also the competitive side of that. You don't want your competitors knowing you're going to pit, so that way they get thrown off. So unfortunate on all behalfs, but you can see right here, Garrett Conrath, he is the leader. All of those trucks ahead, those are going to be wave rounds in some capacity.
Yeah, the top 10 have come down and pitted under this caution because everybody else was stuck a lap down, and you mentioned it, so they're all going to have to take the wave around. So this puts guys in a really good spot. Like, Hayden Swank and Ryan Swan. We know that both these guys, they were on the cusp. Well, actually, Swank was in. Swan was really on the cusp because they both entered 11th and 12th in the point standings tonight. Puts them in a really good spot to try and. We still have 30 laps left, but hopefully for those guys get a good result to give themselves some confidence heading into Talladega. But Garrett Conrath, this puts him in a really good spot. Mentioned it. He's won the last 2 races of the season, looking to make it 3 in a row. He won at Darlington, won last week at Milwaukee, trying to win again at Kansas before heading into Talladega. But we'll have 29 laps left to go when we get to the stripe. Cody Dempster in the 24. He'll be restarting on the outside lane there. He's still looking for his first win of the season, so it could come tonight at Kansas. It all depends on how this restart goes in the next 20-plus laps, but only 4 trucks on the outside lane. Everybody else on the bottom because they took waiver out.
Yeah, and all those drivers still catching up. That'll certainly spread out the field, and for those drivers in the back, most of them are going to be on 4 to 10 lap old tires, where those leaders who didn't pit, they're on the freshest, so they are going to be hoping for another caution, which may or may not happen. Hopefully this race doesn't go from a amazing one to in the toilet, but we're going to be optimistic because we have all the reason to be. But that's Jacob Harbert's going in the middle, 3 wide to the outside of Taub. Now Brian Noel. And what we have is a lot of drivers, as you were just kind of alluding to, they haven't been up here all race. Now, can they hold the spot now that they're here, I guess, is the question.
Yeah, looking through, Hayden Swank has jumped up to second. I would definitely think that he'd have a good shot because after his penalty at the beginning of this one, he was steadily making progress through the field. Ryan Swan in the 20. Well, that's not really good. You don't want to be blinking in and out in a moment like this, but Dempster will go to his outside. Ryan Angel will try to follow suit. Brian Noel as well, trying to find his way through the field. And Jacob Harberts has jumped up to 7th. He's got the 67, though, of Handcamp to his inside. McCollum has joined suit in 9th, and Kyle Tom rounding out the top 10. They're all trying to find their way back where they were.
Yeah, but again, they have the freshest tires of all. Once you go back to about Alex Chilcutt and maybe Cole Cabry, they all pitted prior, so they're on the lead lap. They're in the mix, but they have that tire deficit. And how much will that come into play and stunt their progress? Well, I guess we'll all find out as the 20 of Swan and the Hot Sauce Mobile trying to get by. Ryan Andrew, I mean, he was just tail end of the lead lap. Now he's in the top 5 with the door slam from the Rick's Hot Sauce Chevrolet. And he'll hang on for now in the 4th spot. Dempster looking underneath Hayden Swank. And Garrett Conrath right now took him 8 races to get into victory lane. And still 25 to go, but he's in position to get a turkey and go 3 in a row.
Yeah, he's looking back and just hoping that these battles continue so he can try to drive away from it, and it won't for now. We find the 24 in 2nd. Hayden Swank is in 3rd. Looking back, though, it is really starting to get dicey. We see the 88 actually go to 3rd, and Handcamp really loose on the bottom. He's going to be door-to-door with the 70 for that 4th position. Ryan Swan is back there as well, watching this unfold, not knowing where to go. He's just going to follow suit on the outside, and the 67 will be the only truck low, but they will fan out once more through 1 and 2. We see the one of McCollum trying to get underneath Swan as well. Really close there. That was almost disaster coming out, too.
Absolutely. And then you go back, and Cole Cabry in 11th has 2 3-lap older tires, and you have Alex Chilcutt 6-lap older tires in the rest of the field, and some drivers even in a worse situation. You can see Nerney, Chase Swank, 14, 16 laps. Those are all the drivers that played the strategy early. But here is the 24 of Cody Dempster looking underneath Garrett Conrath for the lead here with 21 laps to go. Big block.
Whoa. I mean, huge. That 67 was sideways down the backstretch. We have to take a look at that one again.
Whoa. Yeah, that was what you call a block right there. Handcamp did a good job to not make that one any worse than it needed to be. But the 24 looking to the bottom of the track, and I just wonder, again, this is 20 laps. He's up the track, nearly pancaking Conrath, who's going to be into the wall and around his
he's going to turn him. He just dumped him down the backstretch, and that's going to bring the yellow out. And here comes the rest of the field checking up, trying to make it through. Now, holy Toledo, I'm not sure 100% if that was intentional or not, but just from the initial side of it, it looked like it. Maybe he was just trying to steer off of the wall, but very clear cut and dry on this one here, Corey.
Yeah, let's just go from the picture that Ryan Swan saw up the track, not Ryan Swan, rather Ryan Andrew. 49 in the wall. Now, I guess the $1 million question, which I think is the case here, is when he got into the wall, shot him down the track, and then he just recovered into the 24. That's how I'm going to take it. We'll see what admin takes of it, but everybody doing a good job of using the 12 hectares of available real estate to get around that vehicle. And this will be a great situation for all of those drivers who were on the slightly older tires, because now everyone's going to be able to pit and get on to even keel. I believe Carson Burrows will be the free pass, and Chase Cabry, he is going to try and take the wave around. Not try, he will take the wave around. He's going to have 13 lap older tires, but it's the first time he's got a whiff of the lead lap tonight.
Everybody else coming down pit road and trying to look at where this 88 truck of Ryan Andrew was in the point standings, and he this is his third start of the season. He is dead last in points because of how many races he's missed, and third start of the year, and he's put himself in a really good spot to come away with a victory. But got the 80 of Harbert's coming out of pit road first. Or actually, no, there's another truck that came out in front.
We got some cheekiness.
Some two-tire calls.
Two tires. And then in third, Chilcutt, 2 tires. We head back to Ryan Andrew, the first on 4. Now, it's only been, I've lost track now because our stats have refreshed, but, it's only been maybe, 6, I can't say 6, it's been between 6 and 8 laps of green flag racing, so, that's not a ton, but it's enough. That could even be a half second with what we've seen here tonight.
Yeah, and this very well could be a replay of last night's Cup race where it just turned into yellow after yellow after yellow to where we got into green-white checker territory. So very well could be the case. I know you probably don't like to hear that, but judging from last night, it could very well go off to that. And this could be a really good call from Hayden Swank in the 70. Again, mentioned that he was 11th in the point standings heading into this one. The yellow came out at the right time for him two yellows ago, and then this one as well brought him into pit road where he chose to make a 2-tire call. Puts him up into the lead and in a good spot to possibly snag a win here at Kansas.
Absolutely, but one thing we're going to have now is, remember, many of those drivers who were up front all race, your Jeremy Millers, your Cole Cabrys, your Trevor Edwards, drivers who pitted early, they got caught in the wave around situation, caught on the old tires. We know they have some of the fastest trucks, the best pace here. They're now on even keel, even tires to everybody else, and they're running in the mid-teens right now. So we are going to have a lot of drivers here in crunch time trying to get through this field as quickly as possible to regain the best possible finishing position. And as you said, sometimes that will turn these races asunder. And hopefully it does not head the route of the bulldozer. But Hayden Swank going to get on the loud pedal, get us up to pace here. Barney will get him waving once again. Chilcutt and Harberts will be in row 2 in the 70. Again, 2 tires for the top 3.
Yeah, real good spot right there for Hayden Swank as the field continues to duke battle. Coming out of turn 2 and down the back, we're starting to see them fan out even more. Garrett Conrath, despite hitting the wall, still with a chance to have a good showing. Chilcutt in second. Harberts is falling down the middle, heading outside the top 5 now as they're close to making contact there. It is pandemonium behind Hayden Swank going into 1.
We're in 3 by 3 by 3 here, and nearly squeezing into a 4 wide around Alex McCullum there. Right to the rear of McCullum was Brian Noel in the 7. You got to watch out for that rear air grief, and you got to watch out for that.
Brad Slaughter. Oh, look out. He's going to come back up in front of the field. Oh, man. That's going to bring out the yellow.
All right, fans, I want to reiterate something. I want to put back in our memory something that's very important. This race was absolutely phenomenal for the first 3 quarters, and no matter how bad the end of this may get, let's not remember how good the middle of this race was. But there's the contact. They were 3 wide. Slaughter really just, I mean, what are you going to do there? Chase Capri, he can't catch a break. He just needed to be able to reset, and he got clipped in there. As there's what happened. 7 down into the 35. He's like, I got on the lead lap. I stuck around all race. I got on the lead lap, and as soon as I get on the lead lap, look what happens to me.
Yeah, I'll bring out another yellow tonight. I think that is I want to say that's the 4th one of the race.
Yeah, we won't play the guessing game here today. We'll just validate your stat, and you are correct.
Seeing a meatball for Jeff Wilson and a meatball for Joseph Swan, and some more guys outside the top 15 coming down and making pit stops. So topping off on fuel and just getting some fresh rubber on, trying to have a hard last charge to the finish. But Hayden Swank, once again, still in a pretty good spot as the laps continue to dwindle. Now, this is the best thing that he could hope for, because more cautions means less time under green for guys like Chilcutt, Conrath, Handcamp, Ryan Andrew to come and try to dethrone him in the lead.
Yeah, and again, that's a heat cycle for every driver who did not pit, which we talked about heat cycles a fair bit last night, and those will certainly get into, they will sacrifice the grip on those fresh tires, but you're going to have to go back to Jacob Bell in 21st, the first to pit on this cycle. But again, 3 drivers on the 2 tires, and we'll see how that does fare. Admin call coming in. Looks as though we're getting a split call on the 7 and the 81 there, as the admin call on that caution, and that is what leads to the penalties that you see, the end of lines, the drive-throughs, and in some cases the suspensions. The more you have tallied up, the worse your next upcoming weeks will fare. But we'll get doubled up, stacked up here coming. There'll be a 13-lap shootout to the end, as we had 1 caution on lap 1, literally on lap 1, like not even lap 1, maybe lap 0.25. We had a caution. We ran green up until maybe lap 90, and now we are a little bit struggling to get ourselves a run here, but let's see how it finishes.
Yeah, going to be 13 to go at the line, and Hayden Swank going to have a good shot at trying to capture his first win in the area. Ran season 7 in the Cup Series and opted to drop down to the Truck Series and have a go at it there. And I mean, it's been a fairly solid season for him. 1 top 5, 3 top 10s for him, and this would be a really good confidence booster if he was able to hold off the field and get a win tonight prior to Talladega's race. So again, 11th in the point standings prior to this race starting, but even if he doesn't get a win, a top 5 finish could do so much for him, putting him in a better spot in the point standings, but he will lead the field back to green. 13 to go at the line for Hayden Swank.
That was a lot of stack up there on the restart. Jeremy Miller looking to the high side, as some drivers looking to the low side. We're about 3-4 wide, and we are...
The yellow's already back out.
Immediately under caution.
Don't know what could have triggered that.
Yeah, I didn't see anything unless for some reason it was admin triggered. I think it must have been admin triggered. We'll validate here, but yeah, we're seeing the whole shot. Everybody was gaggled up, and nothing happened there. So...
Well, Hayden Swank doesn't care. More laps being ticked down.
Yeah, again, I barely could call that a heat cycle because we didn't even get into 3rd gear. Yeah, well, maybe one or two drivers did, but we'll wait for the call on that caution. I mean, I can't think of anything that it could have been outside of some administrative situation that needed to get cleared up, but this will put us within 10 laps to go. Again, the bed's made. I can't imagine any pit stops for anybody outside of needing damage repair. Worth noting as well, Chase Cabry did take it behind the wall. We have about 5 retirees here. Hartman, Seidenfaden, Jeff Wilson, and Joseph Swan. Now Chase Cabry is behind the wall, and Brad Slaughter. I don't know if that thing will be repaired in time to finish the race, but he is on the pits trying.
Yeah, very well. Still have yet to receive word on the cause of caution for that one, but
enjoy some daytime B-roll real quick. And no, that was not an admin yellow. So that yellow did heed from something. I just don't know what it was. So the mystery is upon us. And again, typically admin, once they figure it out, they give us their take on the caution, which is how, oh, here it comes. It's loading, folks. Let's figure it out, because heck if I have any idea what it was. I mean, we had the whole field in the shot there, Hunter. I mean, you're usually pretty good at catching things when I miss them if they're in the shot. I didn't see anything.
The only thing I can think of is a truck on the other end of the racetrack must have had an issue, and probably is what the yellow came out for. Something maybe on pit road. There were a few trucks down pit road. I'm not sure if that was enough to bring a yellow out from that alone. But
Slaughter? No, I'm trying to see. So it would have been. There's a couple drivers that got towed to the pits. So once we're waiting, we'll figure it out. The 81 blew an engine. So we have enough time here very quickly. I think it may be here. Yeah, Slaughter. Oh, yeah, he blew an engine and basically stopped as we were coming to the green. And, well, that's what it was.
Yeah. That is intriguing way for yellow to happen, and my guess is that he came to a stop right there, trying to think that maybe they could add another lap to it instead of having the yellow immediately come out, which is what created all the confusion. But again, it's music to the ears of Hayden Swank. The more yellows we have, the less laps it'll be for those behind him to try and overtake him, whether that be the number 60 of Alex Chilcutt, who is looking for his second win in the year. Garrett Conrath looking to go for his third straight win. Jalen Handcamp in the 67 truck looking to put himself in a good spot to win tonight. Really, really intriguing stuff here. As we're coming up on 9 laps to go, Hayden Swank leads the field back to green at Kansas.
And that 49 truck, the 60 at Chilcutt really slices in and fills that gap in. And 2 tires for the top 2. Conrath, even though he hit the wall about 20 laps ago, he is in the mix now. But Jalen Handcamp going to wrap the outside. That's where the momentum is. And we are really slicing and dicing down the back stretch right now.
And Handcamp's going to go low into 3 underneath Hayden Swank. The 67 and the 70 are door-to-door for the top spot here at Kansas. Going to be coming up on the 4th corner. They almost made contact, maybe just a touch, as they're reaching the stripe. 8 laps to go. It's Swank on the top, Handcamp on the bottom, and then behind them, Cole Cabry and Alex McCullum trying to close the gap into 1 and 2.
Absolutely. Just massive change of pace here, but Jalen Handcamp going in the middle, and now all the way to the bottom is Alex McCullum to the bottom of 3 wide. Hayden Swank hanging on with everything he has left. This is a super tight 3 wide. Are we playing pancakes off each other? Answer is yes. Caution will come out. Who got the lead there? We'll find out. 3 trucks in a stack up here. That is Senesac, Grant Brown, and Kyle Taub, who all had issue. And there was big carnage there in 3 and 4. Kyle Taub in the wall already, and that was Senesac, Grant Brown. They all just kind of stacked up kind of in reaction to what they saw with Grant Brown, rather with Kyle Taub in the wall.
Yeah, Bryce just in an unfortunate spot there with Taub getting into the wall. Truck in front of him, though, got away. I think that was Jeremy Miller, but Bryce tried to navigate through, got hit from behind by the 14, and all three of those guys, their good runs are going to end there with less than 10 laps to go. So we're getting closer towards overtime territory, but not quite there yet. Still have, well, I don't think, I was going to say we have one yellow in the bank for before overtime, but if we do get another yellow pending on this restart, it will put us into overtime. So I guess the more the merrier for Alex McCollum. He's the current leader now. Jalen Handcamp was in the middle of that 3-wide situation. Hayden Swank on the outside. They all cycle first for McCollum, second for Handcamp, third for Hayden Swank. Chilcutt in fourth. Cabre has slotted into fifth after that. Conrath down to the sixth position. Ryan Andrew in seventh. Trevor Edwards, Dane Ware, Jacob Hart currently round out the top 10.
And as you alluded to, Hunter, we will be, depending on when we get the one to go, which I don't think we're going to get it next time, but I think we're going to get it in 2 laps. So this will probably be 3 laps to the end. So it's going to be a regulation green, white checker +1, a 3-lap shootout to the end, which means similar to last night, we'll have all of them in the bank if we need them. Scoring did give Alex McCollum the lead. As you can see, Handcamp in second. And then Swank on those 2 tires in third. Chilcutt on the 2 tires in fourth. And you got to watch out for that 54. And, of course, the 49. I thought the 49 of Conrath was going to be in a much better spot, but he really kind of got stacked up on that inside lane. Ended up going from third to sixth through that shuffle. Oh, we get it this time by, so we'll have 4 laps.
It'll be a 4-lap dash, so if we get one more yellow between now and the end of the race, we'll be put into the green-white checker situations. And for Alex McCollum, he is having a really solid showing tonight, and mentioned that he would have that wild card spot pending missing tonight or Talladega, but he would still have to make Talladega next week, but puts himself in a really good spot to actually move up inside the top 12 in points naturally rather than through the wild card system. So a lot on the line here for him. And then we're looking through at Handcamp. I'm trying to find where he is at in the point standings. I can't really see him. Just quickly scrolling through here. I'm not sure.
He's only run 2 races. He's down in 42nd.
Yeah, well, he's just trying to snag a win away from Alex McCollum. It would be McCollum's second on the year, but Handcamp looking for his first win and only his 3rd start this season in the Truck Series. And Hayden Swank looking to get a good finish for himself on the point side of things. 4 laps to go when we get to the line. McCollum,
no.
we threw it. Oh, we're wrecking. Oh, man. Well, now we're in overtime, and that actually could have went really bad for Hayden Swank there. I thought he was about to get turned all the way around. He got sideways, but he kept it straight, so he's still got a good finish intact, but now we're in overtime, Corey.
Yes, we are. Didn't think it was going to happen. I thought this would be the race that things went smoothly. See, there's the stack up there. Chilcutt into Swank, which eventually turned to 67. There's Jeremy. Is JT Poole. Remember, he was involved. He was up doing well earlier in this race.
I actually want to say that Cabre in the 54 truck, he might have had a little part into that as well, into the 60 truck.
Now, let's watch it again one more time. Yeah, he kind of left rear the 60, and that just kind of got everybody all sorts of different ways there. I mean, luckily, most of those impacts were at a slow speed, so not really any damage would accrue that is critical at that speed, but we'll find ourselves under caution again. Again, we were doing so well, Hunter. We were doing so well. I guess the pressure of the Hunter vibes has now come off quite drastically.
Well, you think back to how this kind of domino affected with the car coming down pit road and not being clear over the radio that he was coming down pit road, and got ran over from behind by a lap truck, and that kind of snowballed into where we're at right now. So McCollum is going to be the leader of the race. Handcamp, his run is over. Hayden Swank jumps up to second. Cole Cabre is in third. Ryan Andrew, Garrett Conrath, the top five.
Calling it a racing deal in the booth. No real lane. Everyone was kind of in their places. They were just so packed together there that there wasn't a lot of wiggle room on either way. And of course, here in the virtual world, we do need a little bit of wiggle room just due to the nature of the unexpectedness of racing online. So no penalties to be assessed there. Now Hayden Swank, he is up to second. He kind of lucked out through the sequences there, through everything. Garrett Conrath back to fifth. Ryan Andrew in fourth. And again, I'm really trying to figure out, assuming we get up to speed, do you want to be on the inside lane here on the opening restart lap, or would you rather be on the outside?
If I'm not in the front row, I'd want to be on the outside. But if I'm up front and I'm leading, I want to be on the bottom.
Yeah, there is the basic geometry that at least through turns 1 and 2, you can run flat out because you're not up to full speed yet. That's usually why the inside works. But then when you get to 3 and 4, that's where the decision flips, because now you're up to speed, and now you kind of want that extra banking. So, and you kind of can't win both there unless you're, of course, the leader and you can just get out to the whole shot advantage. But we'll find out here as we head into overtime, 120 laps in, so this could be a 123 lap race, but if not, we have 2 more opportunities to sort things through here. Will Alex McCollum get another win, or will Hayden Swank pull the pseudo underdog win here today? Of course, Cole Cabre, he has endured a lot here today, coming through the field multiple times, can count him out. And Ryan Andrew, remember, he was borderline going a lap down, and he could sneak this out too.
Very well could be. McCollum, though, in the one will be the control truck for this restart. Hayden Swank on the outside. Cabre going to be giving him the shove with Conrath behind him as well. And 2 laps to go from Kansas. Swank with a pretty good restart. Going to give it a run on the outside of McCollum. Meanwhile, they're fanning out 3 and 4 deep into one.
That is what makes me nervous, but I will say the 70 got the best restart you can imagine with an amazing push from the 88. I think he's going to clear. Cole below the apron. Can't do that, my friend. And now look at Ryan Andrews splitting the gap, going for the race lead. He's clearing, but the crossover for McCollum. We're going to get to the white. We're going to race this thing through, Hunter.
Yeah, one final time from Kansas. It's an unbelievable sight. 3 wide for the lead, heading into turn 1 on the final lap. And they're almost making it 4 wide there as the 88 of Andrew, I believe. Sorry, I had a little brain fart there. Take it away.
Ryan Andrew to the outside, McCollum to the bottom, a little bit of contact. Watch out for Alex Chilcutt. Watch out for Garrett Conrath trying to go for the triple. Kansas has had the closest finish in history. Here's a photo finish. Who is going to get it? Ryan Andrew by a fender.
Oh, we had a wreck after this one.
Surprise of nobody. We ended up wrecking at the end there, but I'm not quite sure who it was, and to be honest with you, I'm not too worried about it. But Ryan Andrew getting an amazing restart there. As soon as you thought it was going to be the 70 and the 1 going through, he ended up driving it through the middle and getting the win in very, very close proximity here. We'll go back at it here on the replay and try to get you the run to the line here. Again, pancaking up the track. And the run to the line here at Kansas.
Yeah, not a whole lot of beating and banging. I'm not sure why. My brain wanted to say hand camp there because it was a purple truck, and I don't know why, but Ryan Andrew, just his method to take over the race just baffled me in challenging Alex McCullum. But right down to the nitty gritty, right when it mattered most, the number 88 truck just barely edged out the one of Alex McCullum there. I believe, what is that, 5 or 6 1/1000ths of a second?
1/100th of a second. It is on the scoring sheet here. Remember, in the first stint, Ryan Andrew was struggling to stay on the lead lap, but circumstances worked in his favor, and he's going to park it in victory lane here at the Kansas Speedway. Let's go start our post-race show, give you the final rundown of results here today from the Kansas Speedway. Final margin of victory, 1/100th over Alex McCullum. Alex Chilcutt in third, within still 1/10. Garrett Conrath not going to get the turkey, but a good solid finish in fourth. Trevor Edwards in fifth. Hayden Swank couldn't quite hold on the older tires in sixth. Harbert's Car Ware and the Boss Man gets himself a top 10.
Yeah, rally through for a top 10 there. Cole Cavery just missed out on the top 10 in 11th. Dante Curtis in 12th. Cody Dempster 13th. JT Poole 14th. Forrest Smith with a 15th place finish. Garrett Grant finally found himself on the lead lap and was able to rally himself to a 16th place run. Burrows, Noel, Swan, and Nerney round out the top 20.
And we'll let the rest of them scroll on through here. Jeremy Miller, not the day he deserved. He ran much faster than that. Other notables, Jalen Handcamp. Remember, he was in position for the win at one point. Chase Cabrey never could recover, and as soon as he did, it ended with damage, and that will be the 35 trucks that ran here today. But we'll head to victory lane. We got Ryan Andrew getting the win in photo finish over Alex McCullum in the first stint of the race. Ryan, you were struggling to stay on the lead lap there. The race obviously turned on its head. You got yourself sorted in position and in victory lane, man. How do you summarize what just transpired here at Kansas?
Well, at the beginning of the race, I had a drive-through penalty for my wreck score that I had to serve, and then it kind of just went green forever. And I thought it was going to go green all the way through, so I was staying out, maximizing my fuel run, just trying to catch a yellow to get back on the lead lap and get back up there. And it finally came back lap 80, and I knew that it had some good speed in the truck, so it was just that caution that I needed to get up here.
Yeah, the race just, and you, Chase Cabrey, a few others in that position where you just waited for the caution that never seemed to happen. How did the truck overall drive? I know we kind of went into the night, but we had at times 2.5 seconds of fall off. Of course, that green flag cycle and drivers on different strategies. Overall, what was the truck like? What was the progression of the handling over the course of the evening?
For me, I was out in the clean air because I was kind of just hanging out a couple seconds ahead of the leaders, just trying to stay on the lead lap. So I had the clean air. It probably got a little bit tight towards the end of the run. I was definitely burning the right front up just because I really wasn't paying attention to my tire conservation, just because I was just sitting there kind of waiting for a caution. But there at the end, it was feeling pretty good for me.
Well, obviously it felt good beating one of the best in the sim there with Alex McCullum, and you get it in victory lane by the smallest of margins. Who do you want to give the floor to for some shout-outs, man?
I want to thank my team, Boyd Motorsports, and my spotter, Rocky Boyd III. He really helped me out there at the end with the clear calls and where the runs were coming from, so appreciate that guy.
Absolutely, man. Great run, exciting run, and we'll see you soon.
All right, thank you.
And now by the thinnest of margins, but having to settle for a second, Alex McCullum with Hunter.
Yeah, Alex, that battle left me flabbergasted, literally to the point where I couldn't even combat the English language into the battle that you two had. Was there anything that you could have done different there on that last lap? I mean, I know it's close quarters racing door to door throughout the last lap. Is there anything else that you would change?
Honestly, probably not. No. I think you need like a 2 to 3 lap run to kind of get the bottom rolling there before the top starts rolling. But once he gets to your right rear, it's just kind of like a parachute to me. So I feel like for me to fairly hold on the second there was pretty solid. But I don't think I could have done anything different. Maybe if I had like a better push down the backstretch to clear him going in the 3 the first time, I think that would have helped. But at that point, you kind of just stand and duck because everyone's just wide open.
All right, well, after that one, Alex, that second place finish has jumped you up from outside the top 12 now to 10th. Heading into Talladega, how are you going to tackle on the Talladega racetrack and how you're going to be able to keep your spot in the chase?
Honestly, I'm just going to go for it. I've never been a fan just holding back. I've always been a gasser, so I'm just going to try to go to the front.
All right, well, point blank, period. Congrats on the second place finish. Again, you're up 4 spots. He's 10th in the standings now, and with another top 5 to his name, Alex McCollum, solid second place finish.
And the other Alex Chilcutt, who had a very up and down day, but it rounds it out on the podium. 31st on the official start list, up to 3rd, Alex. That doesn't tell the tale. You were up and down in the Hornet's Nest, and on those 2 tires battling at the end, you get yourself a podium by 8/100ths of a second. Just to kind of talk about your day, man.
Yeah, I am so stoked to get that result after all of the chaos, I'll say, that we had going on. I mean, I made a good start to the race, kind of had a nice first run, worked my way up towards the top 10. And then I came in like 5 laps too early. I had a feeling if I stay out, there's going to be an incident on pit entry, and I'll take advantage of it. But no, I wanted to go in and get the freshies, and it just did not work. So I had to start basically like all over again. And I was like, okay, I know from practice the 2 tires are absolutely insane. You just have so much rotation with the 2 tires, so I was just waiting for a moment, like, please, let me get the 2-tire option. I got it. And that's the result, so yeah, very, very happy with that.
I know the restart's obviously crazy. I know obviously the long runs, it's spread out. Handling really came in with the fall off, but this Kansas pack racing is just something else. Can you replay anything that could have went differently, or if you had the armchair quarterback moment, is there anything different you could have did to maybe put yourself in a better spot on that final restart?
I mean, I think I kept getting unlucky with being on the outside for the few cautions we had before the last one. Maybe if I had gotten to the inside on one of those, I could have been in a better spot to take advantage of it. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I had the luck going both ways, and I don't think there's much I could have really done differently or thought to do differently here.
Well, all in all, a phenomenal race. Good 3rd place run. You're still in contention to get up to 2nd place in the chase seating, depending how Talladega goes, which we all know is the roll of a die, but we'll watch that next week, man. Any final words before we let you go?
Just thanks to you guys, and thanks to everyone who runs the league, and thanks to my teammates. I guess Travis wasn't here today. I don't know why not, but I'm glad we could put a Hendry County truck up at the front together with Garrett, so thank you.
Absolutely, man. Great job. We'll catch you soon. Well, Hunter, it's hard to say that. It's hard to be mad about a photo finish. We ended up seeing a great race, a great battle to the end, some great strategy, some great green flag racing, and, of course, sprinkle in a little chaos. Basically summarizes this truck series.
Yeah, we wound up with 8 yellows, and I mean, most of them came at the very end, and it really snowballed from a simple communication error there, but it sprawled into a phenomenal photo finish that we saw. Ryan Andrew get the win by 10/1000ths of a second over Alex McCollum. And then looking at the point standings now, there are some big winners and some big losers, and it is really, really tight at that cutoff now. Danny Ware up 1 spot. He's got 28 to the cutoff. Hayden Swanky's jumped up 2 spots, so that top 10 finish for him really did him wonders. He's up 2 spots. Alex McCall mentioned him. He didn't win, but he moved up 4 spots from the outside to the inside of the top 12. We have a tie for 11th, and that's Beckner and Slaughter. 1 point back in 13th is Ryan Swan. Dante Curtis is 12 points back from that cutoff. Chase Cabry, he's dropped a couple more spots. He is 17 points back. 23 back is Kyle Taub. He did not have a solid night. Chase Swank, Garrett Grant, they're within striking distance. Same with Parrish, Brown, for Smith and Jacob Bell. They need a miracle for something to go their way to find a way inside the top 12 in points. But it's going to get real interesting next week when we go to Talladega to try and solidify our top 12 for the chase.
Absolutely. Anything can happen, and it could be a wild card sneaking their way in. We'll have to stay tuned. But of course, like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow night with some Elbows Out Road Racing. Thursday night, we'll take the Nopes cars here with the Florida State Builders Pro Series. And then we'll restart it all next week with another week of action from Talladega. And of course, check out the other content here on the channel. But that's going to be Corey and Hunter signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.